Good morning, Prairie Hawks. Welcome to our morning announcements. My name is Peyton.
And I'm Elizabeth.
Today is Monday, March 23rd, 2015.
It is day 2 in our schedule.
Students and teachers, please take a moment to greet each other.
Good morning. And now for our PBIS drawing.
Good morning, Prairie Ridge Rock Stars. We are here for our weekly drawing these are all of the acknowledgments that were given the week before spring break. There's a lot of acknowledgments, so congratulations, Ridge Rock Stars. Remember, it is very important to put your first name as well as your teacher name either on the front or also on the back. Look at here, this is a friend. And there's nothing on it, unfortunately, except for that student's name. So even if I was able to draw it, I wouldn't have been able to know which classroom they were from, which means then I can't pick it. So it has to go back into the bucket. All righty, so here's our drawing. We're going to start with our second graders today. We have Riley from Mrs. Halen. Congratulations. Presley from Mrs. Benke's classroom. We have Molly from Mrs. Hughes' classroom. Congratulations. And we have Martravian from Mrs. T. Scudder's classroom. Good job, everyone. All right. Now for our third graders. We have Abigail, and she is in Mrs. Youthy's classroom. We have Connie, who is in Mrs. N. Griesel's classroom. We have Zoe. Zoe is in Miss S. Griesel's classroom. And we have Allison J. in Mrs. Heckert's classroom. Congratulations to our third grade winners. Now our kindergarten rock stars. We have Lily from Miss Beats' classroom. And we have Leah from Miss Klecker's classroom. We have Maxim from Mrs. Noctiborn's classroom. And we have Brody from Mrs. Bennett's classroom. Congratulations, kindergarten friends. Our first grade rock stars include Bryson from Mrs. Terwilliger's classroom, Jonas from Mrs. Shaw's classroom, Charlotte from Mrs. Sauerbrey's classroom, and Braden from Mrs. Roper's classroom. Congratulations, first graders. Finally, our fourth grade rock stars. We have Trent from Mrs. McAllister's classroom, Kale from Mrs. Wagamaster's classroom, Timothy from Mrs. Hagen's classroom, excuse me, Olivia from Mrs. Talley's classroom.
We want to wish a happy birthday to Mrs. wish a happy birthday to Mrs. Hendren.
And now for the weather report, Charlie.
Good morning, Prairie Hawks. My name is Charlie. Today's weather will be cloudy and cold. High 43. Temp at recess will be around 34. Wind east 10 to 20 miles per hour. You will need your coats on recess today, and that's the weather. Back to you, Elizabeth and Peyton.
Now let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks for watching the broadcast. This is Peyton,
Elizabeth,
Charlie, Peyton, Juice, Sam,
Mason,
Cole,
Jack.
Katie,
Mrs. Smith.
Mrs. Plinus.
Signing off. Have a great day at school.